So welcome back, and this time I really am going to be talking about the standard form of the quadratic equation. So the most general way to write the standard form of the quadratic equation is as follows. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Using a and b, we're going to be able to figure out the vertex and the axis of symmetry. We'll typically abbreviate symmetry as SYM. So to start, let's consider the following standard form of the quadratic equation. I'm going to do y equals x squared minus 2x plus 1. So first I'm going to identify a is equal to 1, b equals -2, and c equals 1. One point I want to make that's going to be important for all the different forms that we're going to use for the quadratic equation. So to hammer home this point, and this is going to be something that comes up in vertex and intercept form, which I will point out to you in those videos. Let's line them up. So we've got our very specific case of y equals, and let's go to our general form. If we line this up, we see this term is described as bx plus bx, but what we have here is -2x. Notice the difference here. In one case we have a minus sign, and in our most general case we have a plus sign. So let's consider, in our general case, it's supposed to be this: some number and then x. If I want it to get it to be a minus sign, I need to have a negative number here. So it turns out that b has to be -2. And instead of writing out plus a -2, we just write out -2. That's why b equals -2. It's going to pop up in the other forms, so please, please, please watch out for this. I don't want you to get this very easy thing wrong. Okay, so off my hobby horse for this, and let's go back and start considering this. So here we have our problem. Y equals x squared minus 2x plus 1. I'm not going to go back into the a stuff too much because there's its own separate video, so I'm just going to say what the answers are here. In this case, a equals 1, which means I've got something that opens up and same width as y equals x squared. Those two bits of information quickly taken care of. Now we need to find the vertex. To find the vertex is a two-step process. Remember, the vertex is an ordered pair, an xy pair. So in our first step, we're going to find the x-coordinate. And how we do this is with a particular equation. We know the x-coordinate of the vertex, that's what that little v tells us, is equal to the opposite of b over 2a. Now our problem is y equals a is equal to 1 and b equals -2. So I'm just going to plug these numbers in for a and b. And I'm going to get the opposite of -2 over 2 times 1. I can simplify this, and this goes to just 2 over 2, which equals 1. So my vertex is going to start out, and it's going to be 1 something. Now for the second step. To find the y-coordinate of the vertex, we need to use the value of x that we just found in the equation that's given. So it's going to look like this. I have my equation. Wherever I see x, I'm going to put in 1. What's going to happen is, wherever I see x, I'm going to put 1 in its place, and the equation will look like this. Y equals 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 1. 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, so I get 1 minus 2, and then I keep the plus 1. 1 minus 2 is negative 1, and then bring down this. Negative 1 plus 1 equals 0. So if I go back up, my y-coordinate turns out to be 0. This is a very important bit of information to do my graph. One last thing to talk about. Our axis of symmetry is going to be a vertical line that goes to the x-coordinate of our vertex point. So in this case, our axis of symmetry will equal x equal to 1. So, seeing the numbers, let's see what this looks like in a graph. So I have my coordinate plane with the x and y axis. I know my vertex is coordinate pair 1, 0. I know it opens up, and I know same width as x squared equals y, and I know the axis of sim is at the line x equals 1. X equals 1. My vertex point is at 1, 0. It opens up, looks about as wide as x squared, and the last piece is that through the line, through the point x equals 1, I have my axis of symmetry, which again, on this side of the axis of symmetry is the mirror image of that side. And this is how you graph a standard form quadratic equation. So to summarize, to graph a standard form quadratic equation, we're going to consider the following things: whether it opens up or down, the width compared to y equals x squared, the x-coordinate of the vertex point, the y-coordinate of the vertex point, and finally, the axis of symmetry.